It's Jennifer from Happiness is Homemade For, and welcome to my channel. Okay, so today we are going to make a wreath using 3 crosses from Dollar Tree. These are all from the Crafter Square section, and they're all the exact same ones. Now you could use different ones if you want. I just happen to grab the 3 of the same things. So I got these 3. And I am going to use a grapevine wreath that I've had for years. I just constantly reuse it. So I bought my wreath at Hobby Lobby. It was like $4. Walmart sells these, Dollar General has these, and a lot of times you can find them at the Goodwill. So like a Goodwill, thrift store, you probably have one around your house. So I'm gonna use this. Now if you don't have one of these, go to Dollar Tree and just get the wire wreath form, the wire wreath that they have there, and you can always just wrap it in burlap or something, like some burlap ribbon. But I'm just gonna use this grapevine wreath because I have it. And then I'm also going to use 2 of these beautiful flowers that I bought at Dollar Tree this year. I love these. I think y'all told me it's called All Still Be, so it's that right there. But these are beautiful, and look at all the greenery that comes. This is one pick. All of that is on one. So I just plan on using 2 of these. And then I have some of the burlap white polka dot ribbon from Dollar Tree. I'm just gonna use some of this too to make a pretty bow. I've got my hot glue gun plugged in. Oh, and also I forgot, I'm gonna use, because I want my 3 crosses to be pretty much as one. I want it to be together. So I'm gonna use this dowel rod from the Crafter Square section. This is also Dollar Tree. Yeah, and this is the 6-inch long. So it just, it comes in a package of several of them. So I'm gonna use that. All right, and then I just got some paints. I'm gonna use Waverly chalk paint from Walmart. This was like $2, and it's in the it's in the color Ivory. And then I also bought some wax. It's called, it's the Waverly Wax Antique. I have never used this stuff before. So hopefully I don't make a huge mess, because I just kind of want to like distress it. I want my cross to be like rugged. So yeah, so I got this right here in the antique. So we'll see how this works out. But what I want to do is, now I was kind of curious because I do not want these little bases on the bottom. So I just kept working back and forth, and I finally got it to pop out. See, it's just a hole, and then it leaves this little tab at the bottom. Now, you can either leave this, or you can take it like a little saw or something and cut that off and use some sandpaper. So I've got a new saw from Dollar Tree. Is this right here? So I thought about, on this one at least, I'm gonna try it and see how this works, to see what it looks like. So I need a cutting board. Okay, so I grabbed an old cutting board, and I'm going to see if I can just cut this end off. All right, so I'm gonna stick it right here where that little tab is. Let's see. Okay, y'all, if you could tell, I just propped it up on its side just like this. And I just kept back, forth, and it did not take a lot of pressure. So you can do this. Now, if you have a miter saw, just a quick little that would work even better. And then I'm just gonna take this sanding sponge from Dollar Tree. I just have this right here, and I'm just gonna like clean up where I just cut off. But you see, I cut that off. So now that it's completely flat at the bottom. All right, so I have 2 more that I have to do the exact same thing to. And like I said, I just kind of, that was easy. Okay, so that just popped, whoop, that just popped right out of there. All right, so I guess I'll go and do this one too while I'm at it. I just, be careful. Well, shoot, that was easy too. You just don't want to break your cross, but those just, it's just like wedged in there. So some pressure and it pulled right out. All right, I'm gonna do the exact same thing. I'm going to sit these, see, prop it up on its side just like that. I'm gonna take this saw, like I said, it's Dollar Tree, and I'm just gonna hold, and I'm just gonna continue to go back and forth on this old cutting board that I have in my kitchen. I'm sitting on my kitchen counter. All right, that's perfect. Now the worst part about this is the sawdust that I now have to clean up, but that's part of crafting. You can just use regular sandpaper. I just happened to get this the other day at Dollar Tree, so. Okay, so now all I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna paint all 3 of these in this Ivory chalk paint. So, this is really quick. I'm gonna paint these up. And I'm just gonna use, me personally, use whatever you want. I'm just gonna use the sponge brush from Dollar Tree. And of course, you know when I'm done with this, I will save my handle to make more of my mini rolling pins. So, all right, I've got an Riley's Avengers mat. I always paint on my little boy's old little dinner mat. Okay, so like I said, I'm just gonna paint this up really quick and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so like I said, I'm just gonna paint my cross really quick. I just kind of thought like doing mine this white, like this ivory color, and then using some of that wax on it would kind of make it kind of pop a little bit. Just add, you know, some color to the wreath, but also just kind of keep it very just simple. Because I mean, you know, with this cross, like I want it to be simple, you know. Okay, so I have all 3 of these now painted this ivory color. Now I'm going to attempt to use this Waverly Wax and Antique. Like I said, I've never done this before. So, yeah, I'm just gonna try. You never know till you try. So, okay, let's see. All right, y'all. I've never used this stuff before. I guess the only way to learn is just to do it. So, I can always touch up. So if I get a little too much on here, I can always add a little bit more white. I'm just, once again, gonna use that same foam brush, cleaned it up. I'm just gonna dab it. Just kind of get a little bit at first because like I said, I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing. I'm just trying to like age it, you know, just kind of distress it a little bit. So I'm just going, just taking it and just going along all of the edges of this cross. I got a big glob. So what I will do is I will just kind of like clean that up just a little bit, but I'm just gonna kind of continue with this one kind of as my practice. That way if I mess up this one, I can just learn my lesson from this one. So, okay, I'm just gonna, like I said, just keep going, just kind of along all the edges. So once again, learn from my mistakes. But hey, that's just part of crafting, you know? You're not always gonna be like the best and perfect, but as long as you have fun with it and you make it your own, that's all that matters. There's that one. So yeah, I may end up touching this one up, but let's move on to the next one. All right, once again, I'm barely dipping my end into this little cap. I always like to put just a tad bit, like when I shake up my paint, whatever is like in the lid is what I like to use. So like I said, I'm just barely gonna dip that flat into there. The little board, the little end that I broke off, I'm just kind of dab it on there to get some of my excess off. If you got a paper towel, do that. So, all right, once again, I'm just gonna kind of go along the edge. And this may not even be the right brush to use. I really don't know. I think I've seen some people that use like makeup sponges. You can always try that. I just figured this is like a sponge. Yeah, it's a sponge brush. So, okay. This one has a different look to it. And maybe they don't all have to be identical, you know? They don't have to be matchy-matchy. Trying to get like a grain effect, you know? I'm just doing long strokes. Ooh, that was too much. Yeah, I'm just kind of doing something like that. All right, well, what do we think of this one? Yeah. I don't know, that one's kind of neat looking. I kind of like that one. All right, definitely looks better than that one. But, all right, one more. All right, just like that. All I did was just slightly go down. Okay, so these two definitely look better than this one. So, real quick, I'm gonna have to try. Okay, so you see, I somewhat fixed it. This is the one that was like really like dark and bold. And all I did was, and y'all, I'm gonna leave in the clip of me doing it. I forgot to talk. I was so focused on what I was doing, I forgot to tell you what I was doing. So all I did was, I just took my same sponge, I just dipped it into the water and just kind of wrung it out, that way it wouldn't drip and wet. And I just went over it, over the entire cross. And then I just took my towel and I just rubbed it in. And it kind of gave me that look. So I like that. So then I took the other one, I took one more, I did the exact same thing. I just took a little bit of water, wrung it out, went over it, and then wiped it because I'm gonna have two on the bottom. So this way my two bottom ones will be somewhat very similar. And then the one on top will be like a little bit more bold. Okay, all right. Now, I am going to adjust the camera because I want you to see what we're about to do to these crosses. So, okay, hold on. Okay, so now what I did is, and this is, I recommend this to you, and I recommend this for you before you hot glue. Play with it. Get your alignment just how you want it to be. You know, kind of play with your crosses, see how you want them. You know, I want this one to be up higher. So, what I did was, I took, yeah, this one right here. Once I got everything exactly how I wanted it, I flipped it over and then I traced it. Okay, so I'm gonna lay that down. So now I know that my cross, the edge of the point, is gonna line up with that one just right. Okay, on that side. I'm gonna do the exact same thing over on this side. I'm gonna use to where I traced out my cross and I'm gonna put that one right there. Okay, so that tells me that this is where I'm gonna need to glue all of my crosses together, okay? For starters, because I have that right there, I'm gonna take my hot glue gun, and this back here, I'm just gonna do one at a time. Over here, on the back side, I'm gonna go ahead and put me some hot glue. Okay, now I'm gonna take this one, line it up just right, because you know, once you get that hot glue on there, so, all right, now I'm gonna hold that down. Okay, I'm gonna do the exact same thing over on this side. Okay, just put me a bunch of hot glue. Okay, I'm gonna line up this cross. Okay, so now that I've got these good and dry, now let's turn it over. And there you go. There's your 3 wooden crosses all hot glued together. Now, what I want to do is, just for extra support, I am going to take this dowel rod and I'm going to hot glue it onto the backs of these because I do not want this to come apart, okay? So, what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to put a line of hot glue on my dowel rod. Okay, yeah, so just for extra support, you could also use a popsicle stick. If you don't have one of these, you could do popsicle stick. But I'm just gonna put hot glue along the back of this right here on both sides. Just be careful, don't burn yourself. Put it right there also. And that way I can now lay it on here exactly where I need it to be. Okay. And I'm just gonna hold this down and let this dry. This is just a little added support to keep our crosses together. Okay, do you see that? Do you see how pretty that is? All right, and like I said, there's the back of it. Now you could always, now that you have this all together, you could give this a coat of paint on the back too, if you wanted. So, but there's that for now. Okay, so one other thing that we're gonna do is, we're gonna use a pipe cleaner. I'm gonna use this beige color pipe cleaner that I have from Hobby Lobby. I'm gonna turn this over, okay? So this is my top. At the very top of my crosses right here in the back, I'm gonna hot glue me a pipe cleaner. That way I can then attach this to my wreath, okay? So all I'm gonna do is take this, I'm just gonna bend it in half, see where my center is, okay? I'm gonna put me some hot glue right here at the top of this cross. Okay. And now I'm going to hot glue this pipe cleaner on here, and I'm gonna be very careful not to burn myself. So I'm just gonna take some scissors and just kind of help hold and push that down into my glue. Okay, I think this should be enough. So we're gonna flip this over and we're gonna see if this is enough. If not, I may have to put one on each side. It just depends on how it's gonna sit on this wreath once we get everything up. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is, I'm gonna take my grapevine wreath. I always have this clear door hanger. This is from Dollar Tree. I always have it hanging right here on our utility door because when I make wreaths, I love to hang stuff here so I can work on it. Any type door hanger that I make, or sometimes I just love to decorate this door. So I'm gonna just hang this up here. And always kind of figure out, you know, what is the best way for your wreath that it looks, so you can kind of tell, you know, which way to hang it. So I'm gonna start up here. Okay, so that looks good right there. Okay, so now I'm gonna take these flowers from Dollar Tree. Once again, that is the name. So I'm gonna cut this tag off here. Okay, we are gonna keep this very simple. So all I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna take one of these flowers, this stem right here, and I'm just gonna kind of come over to this way. Here's my center, okay? The center, I'm gonna have a big bow that we're gonna put on here. So I'm gonna kind of just wedge this. This is why I love grapevine wreaths too. I'm just gonna wedge this down in here. And that's gonna stay. Okay, I'm gonna do the exact same thing over on this side. Kind of leave a space right there. I'm just gonna take this and I'm just gonna wedge it in all of that grapevine. Okay. That's already in there. All right, now all you have to do is fluff it. You know, adjust your wires, make your flowers go exactly how you want them to be. You know, stick some out, bring them down. Just fluff it all out. Don't be afraid to move stuff around. So one of the great things about working with a grapevine wreath is that is in there. Now I'm gonna show you, okay. Let me shake this, and that's there. That's not going anywhere. Now, if you turn it over, everything is just very neat, pushed through to the back. Okay, so we did a little shake test. Now, if you wanted, like if you plan on using this year after year, you want it to stay exactly how it is when you make it, you can always use a little bit of floral wire. Just take you some floral wire, push it through, pick a couple spots, like right here. Put you some floral wire, stick it through the back, twist it, and then cut off the ends. You could use some hot glue on the ends of your stems. You dip it into hot glue or just coat it in hot glue, push it through. That hot glue will then seal to this to the grapevine wreath. You could use pipe cleaners. You know, right now, if I wanted, I could take pipe cleaners, kind of find like some of the wires right here, some of the branches, and just do that. So, but I love to like make wreaths. So I'm not gonna make this permanent. That way for summer, I could do something totally different. And then next year, I could just make it all over again. So, okay. Now we are going to do the bow. Okay, very casual. We are just gonna stand here together and we're gonna make this bow. All right, so I just, once again, Dollar Tree. This is the really cute burlap and white polka dot ribbon from Dollar Tree. Use whatever you have at home or whatever you can find at Dollar Tree or whatever you can find. And then I'm just gonna use the same color pipe cleaner. All right, so I'm gonna take this. I'm just gonna let that fall to the floor. All right, so I'm gonna turn sideways so you can see what I'm doing. All right, so I like to leave a tail. So I'm just gonna pinch this right here, okay? And that leaves me with the tail. So as I have this pinched, okay, I'm gonna take this. I'm now going to loop that up, okay? And that gives me a loop, and I'm gonna pinch that, okay? Right there, see? I just made my first loop. So while I have this pinched, so now I'm gonna take this. This is just dangling here. I'm now going to push that up, and it's making a loop for me. And I'm just gonna pinch all that together, okay? And then I'm gonna make sure they're about the same length, which they are. So right now I have 2 loops, okay? So now that this is dangling down, I'm just gonna kind of give this one little pinch, little twist as I'm holding it. So same thing, this is down. I'm now just going to bring it up, and then I'm gonna grab it right there with all of the other stuff that I'm pinching, okay? That gives me another loop, okay? So now I'm gonna give you one little twist, okay? Once again, that's just dangling down. So I'm just going to push it up, and that just made me another loop, okay? So now where all that's pinched right here, I'm now going to pinch this and add 2 where I'm already pinching, okay? So look, right now I already have 4 loops. Okay, we're gonna keep going. Okay, so once again, this is already down. So now I have that. I'm just gonna give it one little twist. See, because it brings the underneath. Okay, so while that's like that, I'm now going to once again bring that up. See, straight down, just bring it up and then pinch it all over again. Okay, see, I got another loop. So now while I have all this still pinched, once again, one little twist, okay? Now, I'm now gonna do the same thing. This is straight down. All I'm gonna do is loop that up and then pinch it, okay? So now I have a total of 6 loops, all pretty much the exact same size of each other. So now all I wanna do is I wanna make one small little loop, like for my center. So while I have this pinched right here, I'm just now going to make a little loop and pinch all that right there together. Okay, so everything is pinched right here in my one hand. So now I'm gonna take my pipe cleaner, okay? Everything is pinched right there. So now I'm just gonna take this pipe cleaner, I'm gonna lay it right over there and right here, just right in the center. Say right in the center of that bundle, okay? So I'm gonna hold on to this really tight. Now I'm gonna take this whole thing and just kind of push it up. Push it just like that, okay? I've got my tails. Now I'm gonna give me some really good, tight twist. Okay, and there's like my bouquet. Now all I'm gonna do is just fluff and adjust this however I want it to be. And because you have that pipe cleaner, you can pull and adjust and move it any way that you want, and it's not gonna go anywhere. Okay. Okay, but look how pretty that is. All right, so now I'm just gonna take this, I'm just going to cut that off. Just cut straight across for now. Okay, so I'm gonna take my pipe cleaner. Okay, so now I'm gonna take our beautiful bow that we just made together right here in the center. I'm now gonna take my pipe cleaners, I'm gonna open it up, and I'm just gonna wrap it around this entire wreath form. Just take it, and I'm going to, I'll show you what I'm doing. Okay. Okay. So I'm just gonna take my little pipe cleaners, wrap it around the whole thing, and now I'm just gonna give me some good, tight twist. Okay, so that is now securely on there. Now, you can either cut this off, or you can just kind of push it up into your wreath where you won't even see it. That way you can have this bow maybe for something else. So, but you see that? Look how clean the back looks. You barely see the green of our stems, and you just have this one little pipe cleaner that, like I said, I like to use this color because it blends in a lot. You could use black, brown, whatever you want. So, all right, let's turn this over. Okay, and then just kind of fluff out your bow some. I'm gonna take my scissors and give me a dovetail. So those of you that don't know, a dovetail, all you have to do, just fold that in half, okay? And what I like to do is, on the side that's folded, where the crease is, I just put my scissors right there, and then I just cut up at an angle towards the opening, okay? And that gives me the perfect dovetail, just like that. Okay. So now that can kind of just hang there, and do the same thing over here. All right, this is why I love working with wired ribbon, because wired ribbon, you can manipulate it and it stays however you put it. So, okay, so that's already looking pretty. Now I'm gonna tell you, like this wreath right here, you could very easily, like after Easter, take your crosses off, and look how pretty that is. That is a very simple, pretty wreath for your front door. All right, so now we're gonna add our crosses. Okay, so now we are going to make this wreath even more special and more beautiful by adding our 3 wooden crosses. So, okay, you see how we hot glued that to the very top. We now have the back support. Now, all we're gonna do is, we're gonna place this up here just right. You wanna try to center it, get it exactly where you want it to be at. You know, kind of make sure like you have the same amount of grapevine on each side. This right here is just going to sit and rest right there. It's just going to sit and rest on the grapevine, and your, like I said, your bow and everything is going to really kind of like disguise that. Okay. All right, so I got that right there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pipe cleaners and I'm going to push it through the grapevine. Okay. So, all right. I'm going to adjust you so that you can see. All right, now I'm holding this to where it's centered. Everything is just right. Okay. Now I'm going to take this and I'm going to push these pipe cleaners through my grapevine about right here. Okay, so all I have to do is just be patient and just work my way through. See, all I did? Just slowly worked my way through to the back of this wreath. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna pull this through. Okay, see, I've got my pipe cleaners are wrapped around a good portion of this grapevine. So now I'm gonna take it and I'm just gonna give me some good tight twist. Okay, just really good tight twist. Okay, I'm not gonna cut this off just yet because I need to make sure that I have it just right. All right. Okay, I am so happy with how this turned out, and for some reason I'm like a little emotional. I guess because of what these 3 crosses represent. But I've never made one of these before, so I think it is very simple. You know, I did not want to go overboard with this wreath. That's why I chose to do the grapevine versus doing a big deco mesh wreath. But yeah, these purple flowers, and you can use any flowers. Easter lilies. If you have some Easter lilies, Dollar Tree has some, Walmart has some really great quality ones. But yeah, you could do Easter lilies, you could do any type greenery, any bow that you want. Like I said, if you don't have the grapevine wreath, you can use like the wire wreath frames from Dollar Tree. Just take the plain burlap ribbon like this, and you probably need 2 of them, and just wrap it around it. You could use something like that. Dollar Tree has very small, I think it's like a 12-inch little vine wreath you could use there. So, but I think this is so pretty. Like I said, I just have it hot glued and attached up here. Now, if you wanted, like if you live somewhere where it's like really windy maybe, you may want to, like on the very ends, maybe glue like a little extra one on the back, you know, do a little pick cleaner on each side. But for me, this is gonna be great. All right, and I'm gonna show you what I did to the top. Okay. So what I did, okay. So see, you know, where we blah, blah, blah. If I could talk. So where we pushed that through and I tied it, all I wanna do is, okay. So, you know, this is where we push it through. We did our tight little ties, little twist right here. Now all I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna take the ends of this, and they're not even the same, and that's okay. I'm just gonna take these, and I'm gonna give these, the ends, some really good, tight twist. Just kind of bend that over. And this would give me the loop for my door hanger, which normally you don't need. You can just hang your wreath up. But where my cross is sitting, it's gonna hit that. So kind of think about that. Just add your little extra loop or use what you just tied. But, okay, so you see that I have this loop right here. This loop is now gonna go on my door hanger. And it's perfect. Okay, so that is it. Please let me know what you think. And if you make one of these, I would love to see like what you do to it. Like if you do different flowers. So you can always tag me on Instagram. You can send me pictures through Instagram. It is happinessishomemade_4. Or you can send me pictures through Facebook, which is happinessishomemade4. So because I would love to see what you all do. You know, Easter is such a special time of year, and we tend to do a lot of like Easter bunny wreaths and the kind of the cutesy stuff, where to me, this is very special and what Easter is really about. Now, that being said, I'm about to make me a bunny butt wreath. So if you're interested in maybe seeing the bunny butt wreath, even though Easter is Sunday, and y'all, I cannot believe that Easter is this Sunday. So Riley, which is now my 13-year-old baby, just had his birthday on March 28th. So last Sunday was his 13th birthday. So like, I was so focused on his birthday and cleaning the house up and all the decorations for his special day. I hadn't even done Easter yet. It's doing Easter so much sooner this year. So I still have not decorated for Easter yet. And Easter is Sunday, but that's okay. So I think either tonight or tomorrow I'm going to decorate for Easter. And as soon as I get it all done, I'm going to I'll give you a little tour of everything. Or I may end up doing like a decorate with me. I have no clue. You never know with me. But yeah, so that is it. I hope that y'all have an amazing day, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye guys. Thanks for watching.